During Spider-Man's 60th birthday, he found himself fighting against the new Vulture, and while they were battling, Spider-Man asked the young villain to pull his punches as a sign of respect for an elderly Spider-Man. However, the Vulture refused, explaining that Spider-Man never went easy on the original Vulture anyway, and after a tough fight, he finally managed to restrain the new Vulture completely. And just as the fight ended, MJ called Peter to remind him that he was once again late for the birthday celebration they had planned. But despite this, Peter assured her that he was already on his way and promised that he wouldn't stop anywhere else. But while swinging through the city, he spotted a robbery taking place and quickly dropped the call to confront the armed criminal. And at first, Spider-Man thought it would be an easy task because of his spider sense, but he was caught off guard and failed to dodge a bullet. And this situation gave the criminal an opportunity to fire several more shots before fleeing the scene, and therefore leaving Spider-Man critically wounded. Meanwhile, MJ waited patiently for Peter at the restaurant until a staff member informed her that they were about to close, which deeply disappointed MJ since Peter had done this every year. But before she could get any angrier, breaking news reported that Spider-Man had been fatally shot and was being rushed to the hospital. And upon hearing this, MJ immediately bolted out of the restaurant to get to Peter as fast as she could. And as Spider-Man was being escorted to the hospital, one of the medics attempted to remove his mask, but Spider-Man asked them not to take it off. And the other medic agreed, citing the rule that Spider-Man's mask should always remain at least half on in situations like this. And during the ride, Spider-Man reflected on his life and realized that after fighting so many powerful villains, he never expected to be brought down by a simple burglar with a gun. But since this was how his Uncle Ben had died, part of him felt it was fitting, and all he wished for was to see MJ one last time before his end. But just a few days later, Spider-Man woke up in a hospital bed where the doctors informed him that although he had survived, he wasn't fully healed yet, so they shouldn't get their hopes up too high. And when Spider-Man asked if any fellow heroes had come to visit, the doctors said no, but they quickly added that thousands of New Yorkers whose lives he had saved over the years were lined up outside waiting to thank him. And for several hours, civilians took turns talking to Spider-Man, each sharing how he had inspired them during his many crusades. And when it was MJ's turn, Peter smiled and asked her how he had saved her. And instead of answering it normally, MJ leaned in and whispered something softly into his ear, which reminded Peter of all the ways MJ had actually saved him. And when MJ left the room, Peter's heart monitor suddenly flatlined, and the doctors rushed in only to find the bed empty. And when MJ looked out the window, she saw a half-dressed Peter already fighting a thug across the street. And because of this, the doctors could only conclude that Spider-Man was perfectly fine and would be discharged in a couple of days. And once they got home, Peter and MJ celebrated his birthday together, surrounded by countless gifts and letters sent by the grateful citizens of New York.